evening, everybody. Welcome to Western New York High School Football Weekly. I am Frank Wolf, joined by Tom Prince, Mario, the man, the myth, the legend, Hall, Mario Hall Pass, Tim Gardner producing tonight. We got a great show in store for you today. We've got some special guests. We've got this young man to my left, right in front of you guys, Da'Mari Yancey from Sweet Home. Is going to be joining us in just a little bit. We're going to get through a little bit before we start talking to him, and he's a good man. What's this now? Tell me what that is. That's awesome.
This
Who
is
is
me
this?
and my grandma.
Okay.
She unfortunately passed away.
Oh man, how long ago?
My condolences.
Probably about 4 years ago. 5 years ago.
Okay. But you were close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just try to wear it.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
To remind me of her. Pray for her
Very good.
hands
Okay.
for her.
It's working.
Yeah.
Special teams is on ridiculous special team. We're going to talk to you in just a little bit. Tom wants to yell at me about a few things first. But basically, little rundown. We're going to be talking to Da'Mari from Sweet Home and find out what's going on over there with the Panthers. They're off to a high-flying start, 3-1. We want to talk about the St. Joe's Canisius game that we just saw last Saturday, which was a great game.
Great game for them.
You saw Health Iroquois. Health is starting to really throw some weight around again after losing to Star Point week 1. They've won three in a row, and they're getting ready to play. Who are they playing this weekend? They're playing Clarence, so that's Clarence hasn't been playing their best ball, so that could be a great game. Mario, you did the hall pass for St. Joe's Canisius. We'll get that out sometime tonight or early tomorrow on social media so people can see that. Timmy did Friday night. He was at CSP Franklinville, Ellicottville. That was an okay game from what I saw. It was a little
21-6.
I don't know if the field was good or wasn't good.
Well, I know they did have some comments about the field. It's all grass turf. I mean, not turf, but it's just grass.
Yeah.
I want to say for the past maybe 3 years or maybe more, they said have like maybe 3 meetings to vote to get turf put on the field, but it got declined.
I thought Tate or Franklinville, Ellicottville in that particular game, from what I saw, did a halfway decent job of containing that passing attack. They kept it close. I thought Tate played exceptionally well. I saw an uncharacteristic interception he threw. Very rare. You don't see him throw too many interceptions, but he did throw one late in that game that gave Franklinville, Ellicottville maybe a chance to come back. But Bryce Hinsdale then made another interception that kind of took that one, closed the deal on that one. He had a very good game for CSP in that one. That was a pretty good game Friday night for those guys to do. We're going to be talking to Robbie Westmiller from Alden Bulldogs. We know Robbie had a tough break. He's going to miss the rest of the season, a senior lineman, and that breaks your heart when you see a senior go out with an injury, especially after the season they're having. Alden Bulldogs, we don't talk a lot about them. I know last year we did with the running back there. Things started to improve for Alden, a team that has been struggling. For as long as we've been doing this, Alden really has never had a great season. 2 years ago, though, or I'm sorry, a year ago, with the running back Lane, he was phenomenal. Bono's doing a very good job with the program. Kenny Stoltz helping out there. And then just to see this kid, a big, massive human being of a lineman, a lot of scouts are watching this kid. To have that happen, it sucks for everybody.
He's committed already to play Division I.
Is he committed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I'll take a peek exactly where that is. And at the same time, they've got a big matchup this week. They're going to get a chance to take on Newfane.
Yeah, 2 undefeated teams. Yeah. They're playing really good with Matt Kappen at quarterback there. So, and they survived Akron last week. We didn't get any photos from that one. We got a good recap from Tony Fiorello, but that turned out to be a great game in Class C North overtime. Patterson threw well. The Nick Fry kid ran very well, but it wasn't enough. But I have a feeling we're going to see that game again down the road in maybe a month or so. Those two teams could be going at it again. It's very possible.
They got a big matchup Thursday that we're going to see.
Medina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
sure.
I understand Newfane beat Medina, but, everybody as well as I do inside that C North has circled the game with Medina before the season started because
Why?
You obviously want to beat the team that's been there year after year after year after year.
They're the measuring stick.
Yeah.
You know how teams like Bennett, you're going to get everybody's best game when you're playing Bennett. You have to, or you're going to get hurt. Orchard Park, Lancaster, those teams, you're going to get everybody's best game when you play those teams. St. Francis, Canisius. How about
Sweeto.
Absolutely.
St. Francis screwing everything up by they beat the crap out of Cathedral Prep on Saturday. And that's a team that beat Canisius a week ago, Thursday.
Yeah.
So we had St. Francis like, oh my gosh, Canisius, they're going to have their way with St. Francis in a week. And
we were waiting to see that game, right?
We were
wanted
talking
to
out
see
loud
what that game was going to look like because it helped us understand the landscape a little bit more. Because we always talk about it, because of Canisius and Joe's and Franny's having to play out of state against teams we know very little about, and we're not really worried about covering them because obviously it's out of our scope right there. So really we're looking for that first game when you see like matchups.
Yep.
We understand when you're going to play each other, it's completely different, but it starts to tell a story is what it does. And that story is starting to develop a little bit in the Monsignor Martin Conference.
Yeah, so St. Francis they're not ready to give up their grip of being the top team in Monsignor Martin. Now, Canisius has come a long ways. St. Joe's has come a long ways, and that's the game we saw on Saturday. Well, why don't we talk about the Health Science game you saw first? Because you were there Friday night. Let's go to that one. You tell us what you liked about that Health Sciences Iroquois game, because Iroquois a week before they gave up 600 yards more on the ground to the young man from South Park.
593.
To be exact, yeah. He had a hell of a game. Adam Nunez, who we had on the show last week, broke a record. Now the all-time leading rusher in New York State for a single game. That's not too shabby. You know, he's got games coming up against teams that he might. I hope he doesn't. Selfishly, I hope he doesn't rush for another 500 yards because I don't want to see those teams get embarrassed.
Yeah.
But he's playing teams that if you rush for 590 yards on Iroquois, you can rush for 900 on Cheektowaga. And I don't say that to be disrespectful, but Iroquois and Cheektowaga are in different places right now in terms of where those programs are, right? There's a lot of work to do at Cheektowaga and coaches doing it out there. But if you're going to rush for 590 yards, can you imagine what you would do to a team like Newport
Well,
or
I don't want
Cheektowaga?
to take any credit away from him. Like that's a New York State record all time.
Yeah.
But for anybody to have that amount of carries and rush that much throughout the whole game, you got to give some credit to the O lineman. Now, when you give credit to O lineman, now you see them going to the first level or second level. It's going to be a long day for anybody that's trying to
my
go get some
gosh.
blockers.
I hate to be the statistician on that game.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Or you'd have fun with it because you were going to realize that you were coming up with a New York State record.
Talk about that game.
So really, I thought this was the coming out party for
Takes
Jordan
the
Oliver,
snap,
quarterback.
rolls
This
to
is
the
an
left,
opportunity.
looks like
He
he's
threw
going to
8 for 10.
run. He's
He went
into
for
the end zone for the
231 yards
touchdown.
and 3
Just
touchdowns. Right, that was a big coming out party because we really hadn't seen them go to the air and been so effective that they were to the air. His longest was 60 yards, and then you look at Michael. Brandon Michael, who actually was the one who did get the Conley Cup nomination out of there. He runs for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. He catches for 107 yards receiving plus a touchdown. It was just unbelievable to watch. And if you haven't heard this name, Samaj Summerhour, I'm telling you, I'm not even going to lie. I compared, if you go back and listen to the post-game interview I did, I actually say your catch looked like the Malik Neighbors catch that the Giants had, where he literally
Jumps
went
over
him and then took the ball back and then lands on his feet, runs it in for a touchdown. It was just unbelievable to watch. There's no doubt it was a highlight type catch that we could put out and put, you got to check this out to even ESPN out there because it was that good. And you talked about, like you said, the line was huge because the line really did make a difference in this one. But you look at the one name that really stood out, and that was Jeremiah Shuford. I mean, this kid had 16 tackles inside this game, and I'll tell you, every time I felt like I was calling a name, his name was attached to it. And because of the havoc he was causing, I saw something I haven't seen. I don't know if any game I've really seen it. And that came was there on the defensive side of the ball, came with Alante Green. 3 interceptions. One of the interceptions, he jumps a route, takes it in for a touchdown. He almost had a second one. He took it back from about the 40-yard line, took it down to about the 10-yard line, almost has 2 returning touchdowns via interception. But I'll tell you, 3 INTs in a half, you don't see that very often.
I think we're going to talk right through the break because we haven't even touched on Joe's Canisius yet. I think we could skip the break and then we'll go right into speaking with Da'Mari. But this Canisius Joe's game was a different level, right? The anticipation, because Joe's is starting to get better. They've got those I call them rookies, but those sophomores that are called up, right? First time varsity players were going to have an impact. You were going to think they were going to have a nice impact. Given what they did 2 weeks ago down in Jamestown, you thought they were going to be able to give Canisius a game, and they did. I will ask you this because it's been a few days since. Did Canisius make more mistakes in that game that made it look closer than it was? You were on the field.
Yes.
Was it more Canisius making mistakes, keeping it close, or was Joe's actually that much better than they've been in years past?
I want to say honestly it was both. I feel like definitely Canisius had chances where they could have took over the game and dominated. I know Elijah Kimball, he fumbled twice. And I saw when I was going back and doing some of the highlights and looking at the game recap, they left 2 touchdowns off the board when they had St. Joe's had a goal line stands.
Right. Did a fumble down there.
Yes, one of them was a
Was that a
fumble.
direct snap?
One was a bad
Kimball gets
snap.
a carry. He has a lot of space. And
But this kid
gets all the way down
over
to
60-yard
the
run
stand.
for a touchdown, a 30-yard run for a touchdown. I think the other one was like within 10 yards.
Yes, correct.
8 yards, 10 yards.
200 total yards.
Yeah.
Just by him.
And he came out of the game for a number of.
No, multiple times.
Yeah.
You can see him, and sometimes limping on the sideline as he did it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to throw a question at you.
What was he? Was he
It was mostly cramps.
cramping? Okay.
Yeah, he said it. But it seemed to be he was getting it all throughout his leg. It wasn't just in the hamstring where a lot of those cramps seem to happen. I'm sorry, in the calf.
Calf,
where a
yeah,
lot
some
of
of the
those-
hamstring as
He
well.
was getting them in the hamstring as well. You could see he really was struggling out there.
And I was on the sideline as well. Dylan McDuffie was trying to help him stretch out and everything. So
So I got a question for both of you. How many total yards do you think St. Joe's had in this game?
not a lot.
180?
I want to say maybe 130.
132,
Really?
Okay.
right?
Total yards.
Total
Okay.
yards. So when you look at it, by the pass, 72, by the rush, 62. So it was actually 134. I apologize.
Okay.
But you can see just by, stats doesn't tell everything. I get that. But boy, it does kind of go to the question that you asked a little bit back there, because if we would have said to you in any game, if a team only had 134 yards, do you get the win?
No.
Normally, no, right?
Right.
And boy, that shot right there said it all. And Andrew Miller getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for St. Joe's, and then being able to come out to the game the next day and be able to be out there with the cheerleaders. Boy, that was just an unbelievable sight. And Mario, I know that was you that got that on there. One of the many things that were just incredible to see. You've got to go back and watch this game if you haven't. And I will tell you, the best entrance I've ever seen by a team or a school that comes in with their crowd.
By far.
And you can
I
see
enjoyed it.
those boys from the Marauders were something to watch. When you watched him
Hang
come
on, you're
in,
talking to a former Crusader right now, man. He's still got some Blue Crew blood in there.
But listen, we all saw that. We didn't see anything like it. He comes in, they bring a guy in. They're holding up like he is surfing on a surfboard. And he's standing out there kind of doing his thing. And I'm going, that's something to watch. It really was.
I thought in that particular game, a couple kids, Kozinski for Joe's, had a bit of a coming out party to some degree. Caught the touchdown pass, had another nice long catch and run. Did drop one pass that was crucial on one drive. Things you can get better from,
Absolutely.
right?
Did you notice too? That was the name that Coach Gilbert told us to watch out for as the kid that was going to come out in that one.
Kieran is the one that's been telling us about it since from his previews that you got it because he's coached him. You got to keep your eye on this kid. He's got a lot of talent, young, but he's going to settle in and he will make a difference. It might not be his time just yet, but it's coming. Same thing with the Dominic Cook Jr. kid. Yeah. I thought there were opportunities for that. For all those guys to make plays. And I thought when they were given opportunities, they did quite a bit with the opportunities that they had.
Correct.
And their moments are coming. They're stars. They will shine eventually. And Joe's is in good hands. I like the quarterback play. I wasn't too disappointed And Klein, I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was too bad. Right?
Well, I feel like
I think I'll tell you what. I like the quarterback play here this past week, and what I saw in Jamestown better than what I've seen the last few years. I think they've got a steady quarterback there. I know he's a senior, but he's good enough to help that team move the ball.
They moved them all even when the backup came in twice.
Oh, he did number 12. Yeah, I didn't know who that was, but
and
yeah.
he came into key spots where he was able to rush the ball and be able to get first downs. Didn't see it with his arm. We saw it with his legs, though.
Yeah, especially on one drive. I think it was like a fourth down. He ran for a first down.
And I thought Penapento was big for St. Joe's coming up and making some big runs in key spots to be able to set them up for some of those drives.
I will tell you, because I know there's a lot of banter on the social media sites about, we got to get this guy into this. We need more of this guy. Coach Corona, say what you want, but he is very loyal to his seniors. And what has Panapino done to deserve less carries or touches? Nothing. He's a great running back. A lot of schools would love to have this kid. So, you can't blame Corona for going to Panapino again and again. He's a dynamite running back, and he's earned it. Yeah. So we can't be critical of Corona for going to that well too often.
No, but I also thought they had a good balance. Like Penapento seemed to be the guy that was going to break to the outside and try to get outsides and make something happen. I also thought Cook Jr. was really trying to go up the gut, initiate contact, and use some of that strength he has. And really, if you start using these guys as an off balance to each other, the old thunder and lightning that we've always talked about.
I think it's the other way around, though. Personally, I think Panapino's the more of the bulldog type runner, and Cook is just more electric.
But you saw in that game, if we just took that game for what it was, that's what Cook did. He was driving downhill and really initiating contact.
Two of his carries did go for first down, so I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised as well because when we went to the St. Joe's versus Jamestown game, Cook he pretty much started the game off in the Wildcat formation.
Yeah,
and he had 2 direct snaps. So and he made I want to say a big catch that got called back for a touchdown. Versus Jamestown. So this game, I feel like he should have got more carries or even more involved. But as you guys talking about that, in my head I'm thinking about what about Clark for Canisius? I feel like he could have got more targets as well. I was kind of.
Oh, you're talking about Jaden Clark passing the ball, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. That's one thing they didn't do very well in that game was passing the ball. But when you have a running back that was as electric in this game as Kimball was, I mean, literally, it was like he touched the ball. Or is he going in for a touchdown? Because that's really the way you felt.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I thought that offensive line, when Kimball was in there in the game,
they definitely blocked better.
Different.
Absolutely.
It was like night and day is what it was that was out there because you really saw. I couldn't believe some of the way those holes opened up the way he did. And it was really about him getting to the second level.
Yes.
And you want to talk about what we just said with Cook. This is a young man, when he runs the ball, can do it anyway. You want to initiate contact? Bring it on. You know what I mean? You want me to get to the outside and show you how fast I am? Bring it on. Because he is that electric when it comes out there outside on the football field.
All right, that'll do it for Joe's Canisius recap. Why don't we start talking with Mr. Da'Mari Yancey? So you are like the special teams darling right now. How many kick returns for touchdowns do you have, and how many punt returns do you have for touchdowns?
So to be honest, I got 11 touchdowns right now. So five on the ground, 4 kick returns, 2 punt returns.
Yeah,
I'm just one off from Adam Nunes. I just need be tied right now. Well, we're not tied. He won ahead of me.
Why are they kicking the ball to you?
I have no idea.
You go through the handshake line at the end. You ever ask one of those coaches, why do you keep kicking the ball to me?
I don't know.
Just say keep doing it.
They wouldn't be the team to stop me, but nobody has stopped me yet. I have won every game.
Yes. That's pretty incredible.
To do that, though, you have to see the field well. Okay?
Yeah.
I want you to just walk me through. I don't care what touchdown it is. I don't even care if it's one of the touchdowns. What are you looking for the minute you catch the ball and make your decision-making process on that
football
play?
On Elmwood Avenue, the squib kick handled on the...
I just see just a gap. See that right there, just that gap. I'm out. That's all I gotta see. It's just a little hole in there.
So you're going right for the hole. You see a hole, I'm going right for it.
People could just come at me. If you see my Grand Island, people coming at me, I'm just get off me. I'm gone.
How often or how much time do you guys spend at practice on special teams?
I say every Thursday.
Thursday special team. Is there someone that you kind of watch or try to emulate?
No, just Da'Mari.
I
I
mean,
was
there's
doing it at Canisius too, so it's my speed. So
What's your 40 time?
4.42.
So 4.42, folks.
Yeah.
And I
what
want to say we talked about he keeps bringing up our South Park running back star right here.
Yeah.
I want to say he's 4.5 is what he is right now.
you ever race them?
We was at a camp together. We ran the
Okay.
40 together.
Which one was that?
I believe Edinburgh.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do you want to do? I mean, this is your senior year.
yeah.
Okay, so you obviously want to go out for a bang. Now, I've seen Sweet Home 3 times now,
Hmm.
and I like the team. I think the defense needs some work.
Yeah,
My personal opinion is I think the defense needs to shore up a little bit because you know you've got some high-powered offenses that you haven't
yeah.
necessarily seen just yet. Clarence, they can move the ball as good as anybody. You saw Orchard Park.
Star Point.
Starpoint can move the ball. They lost to Will North somehow. I mean, every any given Sunday, right? Any
Mhm.
given Sunday. You know, you guys had it looked like a bit of a struggle with Grand Island, who
Yeah,
may be down in B right now, but as far as we remember, they're always going to be an A team to us,
Mhm.
and they are a big rival of Sweet
Yeah,
Home.
yeah,
Over the
they are.
years, they've had some battles. Timmy Gardner can probably speak to those. You were around for those. Casey Kaz, Joe Licata, and who was the guy at Grand Island? Was that the tight end that was out there, the receiver? Newts. So I mean, they've had their share of battles over the years in Section Six playoffs.
States.
He always brings that up. He was on Sweet Home
And
coaching
guess
staff.
what? I'd be doing the same thing.
So he was on coaching staff with Fox and all that.
Faller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's where Timmy gets from. So, anyways, when we see Sweet Home, we see a lot of opportunities here.
Mhm.
We know how important it would be for you guys to finish it out. What we want to see is we want to make sure that you guys get through these games unscathed. Just maybe clean up the undisciplined stuff
yeah. I understand.
because it's hard. You know, you're a kid and you don't want to be embarrassed.
Hmm.
Even if you're winning the game, you don't want to be shown up.
Hmm.
What you are going to see, and if you haven't seen already, like in the Ken West game,
Yeah.
you can't, if you're up big,
Mhm.
you can't, and this is for everybody, any team,
Mhm.
you can't let that team get to you.
Yeah.
You got to get out of there with that win,
Hmm.
but you got to get out of there healthy and with everybody available for next week.
Hmm.
Because we have seen over the years a team might be dominating someone only to get involved with something stupid and then they
Yeah.
get kicked out and now you're out for the next game. So you're already pounding this team.
Hmm.
Let's just get out of here. Let's just finish the job.
Yeah.
Keep our head on straight. Let's not get thrown out because next week could be start point and you need that win for playoffs.
Hmm.
Could be Clarence. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now that you're going to be playing some, I mean, I seen your schedule. You have what do you have like NT coming up and
Yeah. We have East this Saturday for home
Will
field.
East. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a big game and you need all the horses going for that one because they played some pretty good football, especially as of
Yeah.
late. But when you play a team that has a losing record, is not playing as well as you guys, maybe 0-4, 0-5 at the time, whenever you're playing, whatever it is, just get through that game. Do your job. Win that game, but make sure you're all available for the next week in playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to see out of you. You guys are working with CSA. I know Mike Masters comes out to your practices
Yeah.
and talks to
Yeah.
you.
Every Tuesday. Yeah.
What's he like?
He's a great guy. He always talk about family and trust.
Yes.
He's a great guy.
And that's what you got to be. If you're going to be
Yeah.
a winning football team, you guys have to be a family.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It can't be like the offense over here, the defense over here. You all got to go through the motions together and have each other's backs. And if you guys can have each other's backs, whether it's in the classroom, outside of school, or on that football field, you guys click in all three areas like family,
Hmm.
you'll go places.
Yeah.
You know, and I, Tom, we've talked. I haven't hid the fact. I think this team, not just because you're here, I'm saying it. This team has everything it takes to compete for a Section 6 title. They just got to stay on the same page. You know, and sometimes, you know, hearing that from outside observers, not just coaches, because coaches, I know coaches is beating that
Yeah.
into you, but sometimes hearing it from someone on the outside is reassuring to you guys that, hey, coach knows what he's talking about here. You got to listen, and hopefully things will work out in your favor. What do you want? What's your ultimate goal here?
My ultimate goal for football, just to win that title, like you said.
Yeah.
I never been to the stadium, so
How nice would that be?
good. Only close chance I had was that Marcy and Martin was at Franny's and Canisius.
Yeah.
And we lost that. So I just want to go out for my senior year with a bang.
How are the guys? How were the guys accepting to you when you showed up on campus?
Wonderful. My
Yeah.
coach, good guy.
Couldn't wait to have you in that locker room, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Brother, can you imagine this guy shows up on campus? We just hit the lottery.
Yeah, my teammates was good. It was just welcome me.
Stone's a pretty tough kid.
Yeah, that's my guy.
I mean, that Orchard Park game, I know he went out, tried to get back in. Mario, you were on the sideline. That kid was in pain.
Yeah,
And I didn't think he was going to be able to come back, but he did.
yeah, he came back.
And you got a quarterback.
Yeah,
Throw the ball. Yeah, he can run.
He broke the passing record.
Yeah, he broke that. Was that week 1? Week 1 he did that.
Yeah.
Week 1, yeah, against Orchard Park.
So
he's a good quarterback. I like him.
yeah.
We got a good team, a good line. We just like you said, our defense. We just gotta come together, and we'll be a team that nobody could stop.
And the skills there, the players are there to do it. It's just growing pains.
Yeah, we have 2 players that won high 40s. Nair Patterson.
Oh, he's a beaut.
He runs a 4.38.
Nair's a beaut.
Faster than you?
Yeah, he's faster than me, but they just been kicking him to me, so he really can't show off his skills yet. But I just want them to.
You pick your poison here. I just kick out of bounds.
Yeah. I'll just take the
flag. Start pretty right.
Yeah,
I'm just kicking out of bounds.
I just take the flag, but yeah, we have a good team.
I want you to take a moment and talk about your game, okay? Because a lot of people may not know who you are at this point. And you've got so many different things that you've excelled at on the football field, right? You can obviously receive the ball. We already know that you can run for them on special teams. You'll also go into the backfield and run the ball too, right?
Yeah, nobody knows about that.
So
they're going to find out.
Talk about all those aspects of the game and what you bring to that sweet home team because of all the different things you're capable of doing.
I'm versatile. I can play anything. Like you said, running back, receiver, special teams. But everybody knows me now as my special teams because I'm doing what I'm doing. But
Devin Hester over here.
I'm a receiver too. I can get it down on the field.
Where do you like to be? Like where do you like playing the most? Special teams, returning kicks, or going out and catching passes?
Special teams is easier. It's way
easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
You see the field better.
Why do you say that?
I see. I just feel like I said before, when I get the ball is because special teams, everybody is spread out. I got blockers in front of me.
Some more open space.
And I could pick any left or right, middle. I just got so many options.
See, but when you look at that, to me, I'd still say that's tougher to find because you're looking for an opening somewhere, right? But when you're a receiver, ultimately it's a one-on-one matchup for the most part, right? I mean, of course, you've got to talk about safety, but you're worried about 1, maybe 2 guys as a receiver. You're not worried about every single man that's out there on the field. So you got to how's that easier?
One-on-one. I mean, my route. I just been training a lot. Or Jaden Clark, guys. So we just been training during all season.
You've been around a lot of football players.
Yeah.
Section 6 and Muncie. Is Jaden the top football player in Western New York?
He's a
up
dog.
there?
He's a
Where?
dog.
Give me your top 5 players in Western New York right now, without including yourself right now.
Top 5.
Who would you say?
Jaden Clark, Eli, a quarterback Rocco, Daquan. That's 4. And I'll probably say Jack Exridge from Bennett.
Okay. What about Eri?
Ryan? He's in there.
Yeah.
He's not in my top 5 though.
Okay.
Right. What about the quarterback at Orchard Park that you saw? See,
he gave us hell.
Yeah.
him, I tell him and his brother got a crazy duo. Like that's just unstoppable.
I was up on top of in the press box up on that skiff there next to I think Carson Harper or whoever was doing camera, and I think they went deep on like the first play. Like, oh, you know what I said after that? We're in for this could be a long day.
He did it against Night.
But you battled back. That's major adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not too many teams. You're playing a double-A school. Mm-hmm. Now, the schools have history. You know, I mean, OP and Sweet Home go back a long ways. but you're down 28 points in the half, and you come back and take the lead.
Yeah.
So that's awesome adversity right there. So you guys got to be proud of yourself. Didn't get the win, but you learned a lot about yourself. Plus, you didn't have Daquan for half the game.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So you guys got something good. Do you want to stay for the rest of the show, or you got to get out of here?
I guess they no. Let me see what time it is.
It's 9:30.
Smart guy.
8:30.
Smart man.
I gotta do homework and stuff.
Absolutely.
Good boy.
Student athlete. Love it.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break. We appreciate you coming on today. You get the Conley Cup shirt for you and Daquan.
Yeah.
Rocco get a Conley Cup yet?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Soon to come though. Soon to come.
he's got to get one at some point. I hope.
He's gonna get one.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But you have a great night. We appreciate you coming on
I
board and
appreciate
have
you.
who you got this week?
Will East Saturday.
Oh yeah, Saturday homecoming.
Homecoming.
All right, you the homecoming king?
Yeah, I'm going to dominate them.
That guy over there is best friends with the coach.
Him?
Yeah.
You gotta tell him. So you don't got something for him.
Yeah, he knows.
All right. Well, we're gonna come back in just a little bit. You're watching Western New York Athletics High School Football Weekly.
We are proud to serve,
Thanks, Paul.
Great job.
to serve our country,
Awesome job.
to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier,
I want to say Rocco and you guys. I thought
to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Ready, Bobby?
Yeah.
At freeway speeds, it can take an 18-wheeler far too long to stop.
Now?
Keep going! Fact is, it can take 2.5 football fields for a semi-truck to stop.
Over here.
And still, we see many big trucks barreling down on everyday motorists.
Thank you. Hey!
If you're injured by a truck, I won't give them a break.
Finally.
Truck hit your car? Call William Attar.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Members on your team that are running pretty much 4-4 or less.
And you didn't have that heading into the season. That's why you just never know until you get to August who shows up at school. So good for them. Yeah, he's definitely going places. That dude, smart kid. We have another guest, and his name is Robbie Westmiller. He's a lineman from Alden, a senior offensive lineman. He was a Trench Trophy recipient, nominee, award winner, I guess, for I think it was week 2, possibly week 3.
No, it was this week.
Was it this week?
He got on this week.
Okay, good for him. Why don't we welcome him into the show? Look at this guy.
Hello.
Robbie, how are you today?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing all right, man. We appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You guys are having a heck of a season. We've known of you at least we knew about you last year. You had, I can't pronounce his last name, Jaworowitz? Yeah,
Yeah, Lane. Yeah,
yeah.
Lane.
So what did I call him earlier? Jane?
No, you said Lane. I
We-
thought
I said Lane?
Yeah.
Maybe I said it right. Okay. But either
Mhm.
way, we started to get to know Robbie a little bit because of this running game they had last year. And, obviously they didn't go too far last year, but this year was going to be different. We thought Alden was going to go places. We were hoping. I mean, they still can. They still can. 4-0 right now, taking on Newfane, but unfortunately, Robbie, senior season comes to an end because of an injury, which is part of life, part of
Yeah.
football. And we thought it was important to get you on today just to talk to you and let Western New York still know that you're still around and you still got big plans for after high school. And definitely let you know that we're thinking about you, man. We're sorry to hear about the injury, though.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, it's disappointing, not just for you, but for your teammates and everybody in the Alden community. But you still got a season left, so you could still be the best teammate and be out there supporting the guys. And it's next man up time, right?
Yep, exact mentality that my team has right now. So
Talk to us about the Alden Bulldogs this season. You guys are 4-0. How'd you get there? And who are some of the other names that we need to know about as the season continues?
yeah, so after our loss last year to Maryvale, we were super upset and it left a very sour taste in our mouth. We are a very senior heavy team. I think there's 17 of us out of 29 kids. So we hit the weights really hard. We had voluntary off-season work, and I would say that the biggest part of our team right now is our offensive line. We're very big up front. Um, all of four of us actually up front are looking to play college football. Um, it's there's three seniors and two juniors. So we've worked really hard to get to where we can be right now, to be 4-0. We still feel like we haven't even played our best game yet. Some guys that I think should be on your guys' radar. I'll start off with John Cook. He's a junior. Phenomenal kid, plays defensive end and left tackle. Phenomenal player, fast off the ball. Probably has one of the fastest get offs in Western New York. I think he's got about 4 sacks right now, a bunch of tackles for loss. Rarely misses a block. Another kid I would tell you guys about is Owen Golis. He is our right tackle and defensive end. He's got about 4 sacks right now. And then our running back, Ben Partel, he's playing both ways for us. He just popped off a big game recently against Roy Hart. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, something like that. And then defensively, I would say Nick Whippy. He's a good outside backer for us. And who else could I throw in there? Josh Crook plays both ways. Matt Weiss. There's a lot of players who I think there's 7 or 8 of us playing both ways. So Mason Urso, I could go down here and list a bunch of names to you guys of just crucial players that have really stepped up and helped us be to the point we are right now.
But you got Newfane, Medina, and then Akron. And you lose one of the top linemen in the area at 4-0. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's adversity. And teams have to learn how to work through that.
Absolutely.
And this is probably the biggest punch in the gut that team's going to get this year. And you're going to find out what they're made of going into Newfane comes to Alden. What's it like playing on that turf? The what's that, a blue color out there? Kind of like, was it Idaho or Boise State?
Yeah, Boise State. The only thing that's different about it is every 5 yards, it's a different shade of blue because we didn't want birds dive bombing thinking it was water. So
that's a good little fact.
yeah, so it's awesome though. I mean, there's really no better feeling on a Friday when the lights come on and we get tons of people at our games. I would say more than half the town comes out to our games, and all the little league kids come out, and it's just a great atmosphere. And I mean, it's the town basically shuts down, and from about 7 to 9:30, that's all that really matters on Friday nights. It's great.
So about a month ago, my son had his first scrimmage or whatever, and one of the teams that came to the park that day was this Alden team, 12-year-old kids, 11, 12-year-old kids, and they won. They won whoever they played. But I was impressed with after the game, they had these kids, 12-year-old kids. There's three of them barking at the other players like real leaders, captains, like, hey guys, we might have won today, but we can't play like this week in, week out. We need more accountability. We need to be better, all of us. And it was just amazing to see these young kids taking into account how they just played. Even though they won, they weren't satisfied with how they played. And you'd rarely see that even at the high school level. These kids were 12, and I stopped one of the parents wearing an Alden t-shirt, and I said, hey, these are some nice kids you got here. This is a nice program. Are these all kids heading to Alden eventually? Or are they all Alden kids? He goes, every one of those kids out there lives in Alden, and as long as they keep playing, they are Bulldogs. And that's great to see. So you guys got some reinforcements coming. I mean, they're 12 years old.
Modified program. They're close to the modified program, yeah.
They're coming. There's a couple Westmillers in there for sure. Young guys.
But Frank, this Alden Little Loop program is good.
Oh, very good.
No, I'm talking about for years.
Yeah.
This is a team.
You might have mentioned that last year.
This Alden Little Loop team, and probably did you play in the Alden Little Loop program?
I did. I started playing when I was 6. Yep.
So I'm telling you, these guys used to go into Orchard Park and get wins when my kids were young. They were that good. In fact, that was a game you had to circle on your calendar because Alden was one of the top Little Loop programs in the area.
Well, I hope that continues. Robbie, you rattled off a bunch of names of kids that we have to take note of, and we will. We will. I wanted to ask you, though, what's your plan now? I mean, I know you're going to be a great teammate and maybe another coach on the field, on the sidelines. You're going to be around. But what's your plan now after the year's over?
Yeah, so first things first, I'm going to work on recovery. I'd like to get back to basketball. I'm a basketball player and I do track. So I'm aiming to get back to the season for basketball some point, and then do track. And then I have 3 Division I offers right now. I got my first one was Valparaiso. My second one was UB, and then my third one was Mercyhurst. They all came from camps over the summer. I performed well there. They evaluated my junior film after the camp, and then the coaches would call me and offer me.
Did any of those places feel like home to you? Which ones did you actually visit?
So I've been to UB and I've been to Mercyhurst. I have not been to Valparaiso. I got offered from I went to the Miami of Ohio academic mega camp. It's a huge camp. There's tons of schools there. Valparaiso was there. The offensive line coach, Coach Brewster is his name, and he offered me the next day. And that was my first one. And I knew life was going to be a little different there, that I was going to be able to have an opportunity to play Division I football. That's been a dream of mine since I started playing football. I've always worked to that, had that in the back of my mind. So for that to be able to come true for me is just one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me.
So obviously, I know the Kensington Lions All-Stars are going to be clamoring to invite you. You're going to get an invite, obviously, but if you're a Division I guy, you probably won't be able to play in that game. Not the end of the world. But where's your mind right now thinking? Are you still going to send out film for the first 4 games, or do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to
Who's
send
helping
out
you in the
film.
recruiting process?
So I had I don't know if you guys have heard of Prep Star before.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Steve
so
Dana, I
Coach
bet.
Steve, yep. So
Okay.
he helped me out a lot. And then I want to give a ton of credit to my head coach, Anthony Buno. He's done a ton for me. He's acted like, a father to me at certain times. And he's done so much, I can't even put it into words. So I've had those two guys in my corner. My parents have helped me a lot along the way, getting me on Twitter and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of people in my corner helping me through this process.
Has any of those coaches reached out to you since the injury?
Yep, I actually called all of the places I have offers to the day after I got surgery, and I told them, this is my recovery time. This is what happened. This is what the doctor said, and they all said that they appreciated me being honest with them, and they still feel the same way about me, and they're not going to pull anything. So that was a very big relief for me.
So let's talk about line play a little bit, okay? Last
Yep.
year, you had a great line. You also know probably the other great line that we really saw inside your conference came from Medina, where we saw multiple guys in same shoes that you're in now were in last year. Okay? Compare yourself to that line that you saw last year and what you've been doing to be able to be that line this year.
Yeah, so obviously those guys were big physical kids, played with a lot of tenacity, and their get-offs were extremely good. So we strived in the off season to be the offensive line that people talked about, and to be able to move kids like that and create giant holes. We wanted to be the dominant force in Western New York of offensive lines, and that has really driven us.
Robbie, we really appreciate you coming on today to tell Western New York a little bit about yourself and the Alden Bulldogs program. We do wish you the best going forward. We're going to be keeping an eye on you to see how things progress. Hopefully get to see you on the basketball court this year. We didn't get to do a football game, but if you get back on the basketball court, I think Tom and I are going to come down and do a basketball game.
All right, that sounds great.
Wait, you haven't seen that big post-game interview yet.
So, Robbie, thank you very much for coming, and best of luck to you guys the rest of the way, okay?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. It was our pleasure. That was Robbie Westmiller from the Alden Bulldogs. They take on Forno Newfane this weekend. We're going to take another quick commercial break. We're going to come back with Pat Foster, the assistant head football coach of the Bennett Tigers. You're watching Western New York High School Football Weekly.
And remember, you can call me anytime.
Anytime?
Oh, this is my client.
Hello! Injury attorney William Mattar always puts his clients first.
I gotta take this.
There you go.
Sorry, I gotta take this.
He's recovered millions for injured accident victims. Easy out, easy out.
Ooh, it's mine! This is William.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar.
Seek your next adventure. Make your next memory. Explore your next connection. What will you do next?
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYathletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNY Athletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome back to Western New York Athletics High School Football Weekly. It is episode 5. We are approaching week 5 of the high school football season. Kicks off on Thursday night. But Friday night, there is a game that has been circled on everybody's calendars since it was released, and that's Bennett versus Lancaster. This year, round 1 will happen at Lancaster, and that's Friday night. You're on the call for that one, Tom. Mario, I know you want to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But unless you got a body double, you probably won't be able to pull that one off.
Wish I did have one. That would be phenomenal.
But I know these two teams have their sights set on Highmark. So maybe you'll be around for that. And I don't want to say that too quick because Jamestown and Orchard Park and even Niagara Falls are going to want to have something to say about that.
No doubt.
But this Friday night game is the game that we've all had circled for a long time. We've got Coach Pat Foster, I believe. No, not just yet. Okay. We're waiting for Pat Foster to come in with some video so we can get him on the show in just a little bit. But let's talk about this game. Lancaster has been playing some very good football. Bennett has been playing good football. I don't think they've played their best game yet. I think they've, in typical Bennett fashion, they're just biding their time. Mario, maybe you could speak more to this. I just think that's one of those teams that kind of circles games, and once they're there, they're locked in.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like they've been sleepwalking a little bit through the season. Almost bit them last week with Jamestown. They were up by a few scores, and then it got close. But your take on this one, on this matchup?
Honestly, I feel like it's tough from both sides. I feel like Bennett, they have a lot of athletes. Lancaster do as well. It all depends on who shows up.
Obviously, one of the big players here is that Ryan Lawrence, he gives everyone fits.
Correct.
Week in, week out. Can they block for him? Like when you guys look at this Bennett team compared to what we've seen the last few years, is there a glaring hole? Is there a spot on the field that's not as good as it was a year ago? Is there a spot in the Lancaster team that's not as good or complete as it was a season ago? Like, where are the holes, if any, of these two teams, would you say? And then what are the main positives? Like, what is it about these teams that they're just going out there and having their way with other opponents?
Remember with Bennett. So first of all, they went out of state and played one of the best teams in the country, right? So we don't know what to take away from that game. It's something you didn't know what to take away from. And then you've had 2 games so far. Jamestown, a very good team, which always play everybody well. And then you've seen them play against Niagara Falls with a little bit of a bet on the line. Fun bet, right? That we saw out there. But really, I just don't know if we know yet. This is the game where you really start to find things out. And Mario, I'm going to say this because I say it week after week after week. I'm going to go right to the trenches to start things off, right?
Yeah.
And that has been Bennett's, staple here in Section 6 the last couple of years. One of the best lines in Western New York, and you always had to make sure that this was one of the best lines that you had to deal with. The biggest difference I will tell you about Lancaster is this may be the biggest line that we've seen come out of Lancaster in the last couple of years. And when I'm saying this, there's always been players, but this is like this complete line that really we haven't seen that type of size come from them. We know how good they are and how smart they are, and they've shown that having undersized lines year after year after year after year. But I'll tell you, this is a different Lancaster team when you look at the line and you also look at what they've got at quarterback and running back that's out there. And to me, too, multiple receivers. You haven't seen 4 top receivers come out of an area in a long time in a school district, and if you did, it had the name Bennett wrapped around it is what it did. I believe that when you look at it, Lancaster is even a much better team that, if you remember, had a phenomenal game against Bennett at the stadium last year. So now the question will become, does Bennett bring back that line that we know they're capable of and that we know that we've seen, and we know when they're rocking on every single cylinder, they're a tough line to beat.
I mean, I was at the beginning of the Bennett Jamestown game last week. I didn't even get. I shouldn't even say that. I got there before the game started. Had to drop something off for Francis, who forgot something. Just kidding.
Yeah, I had to get that in.
Just kidding, Francis. Anyways, so I was there, and Bennett was off to the side in the bleachers, and they were passing out jerseys. I'm like, that's a little weird. Why are they passing out jerseys right now? I thought that was the varsity team for a second. These guys were huge. It's their JV.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, that's your JV? They're bigger than half the varsity teams I've seen. So anyways, oh my goodness. These dudes were big. But they weren't the varsity team.
One thing I can tell you about Coach McDuffie and what he's done and done real well is he gets those kids immediately when they are into the program into that weight room and make sure that he gets everything possible out of them inside that weight room. And you're seeing that come into effect. And when I've been to practices, at least with Coach McDuffie, he's coaching the JV team just as hard as he's out there trying to help with his varsity.
No, he doesn't see any difference.
Yep. I mean, that is a coach that you can know is vertical inside their program.
He's got a lot of great coaches from A to Z, all of them in player spaces, making sure they're all accountable, so on and so forth. I haven't gotten a reply from Pat yet. He's supposed to be joining us. Is he actually in there? Just no video?
He's in there, but he's got a screen out there. I don't know what it is.
Do we bring his audio in?
Try.
Why don't we see if he's there? We can try bringing him in with just audio only. Hey, Coach, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just don't have any video of you. Is that okay? Did you not comb your hair today?
No, there should be video. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, let's talk through it. It's okay. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
We've got you here. That's the important thing. And I want to thank you for your time and joining our show today. We've been going on. Tom has been bragging about McDuffie, but he hasn't mentioned your name at all. And I was trying to tell him there's some other coaches there that need recognition.
Coach, I know you're one of the good ones.
Yeah, Coach McDuffie does a great job. So that's, we all work kind of under his direction. And, weight training is our number one. That's kind of our mainstay is getting our athletes strong. And, but I'm just happy to be part of it. I've been with the program since 2017, coming over from Lafayette and Riverside, and been doing this for the district since 2010. So I've been doing it for a while, but with Bennett since 2017. So it's just been a joy to be part of this ride.
Since 2017. Have you been at the stadium just about every year then?
Yes, definitely. The first year, 2017, was our first year for Bennett in Class AA. So that was actually kind of a learning experience, a growth period for us. Actually, Joe Andreessen, who's playing for the Bills, was the star linebacker for Lancaster that year. And they kind of took it to us that game. We were actually playing at Lancaster. I think it was the first game of the season, and they beat us about 40-8. And they went on to represent, go down to the semifinals and be sectional champs that year. And they had about 5 years in a row as sectional champions. But as the years went by, we were able to really step up in the Class AA, and now it's 3 years straight for us. So we're proud of that. But it's a great rivalry with Lancaster. This is a huge week for all of us.
Coach, I was at that Lancaster game, your first game in AA, and there's only a couple plays I really remember from it. And one of them was an Andreessen touchdown and end around. And the other one was, I can't remember your linebacker's name, but he hit a running back from Lancaster behind the line of scrimmage, caused a fumble. You guys recovered it. I'll never forget that play. And I think you guys maybe even blocked a kick. You might have had a safety in that game.
Yeah, we might have. Yeah. I think we did have 8 points. So that could well be. I'd have to look back at the stats on it, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Was this Isaiah
And
senior?
Isaiah was there. Yeah, Isaiah was there.
senior?
I don't think it was was that his senior year?
No, Isaiah was he was in the 16, the fall of 2000, actually 2015, and graduated. No, I'm sorry, it was the fall of 16. So yeah, that was the year. Isaiah was the year before.
Yeah, we have some pictures of Isaiah on the wall at the stadium that was the first year of our existence, our first year of football coverage. But I remember being at that 2017 Lancaster Bennett game, and that was Bennett's first year in Double A, and that was a hell of
and
I mean, it was a wake up call. But
exactly,
Bennett learned a lot that day.
Then it was Perry playing as an 8th grader, if I want to remember, at that team. He was like a 7th or 8th grader playing on this team on the line.
He did. He started with us as an 8th grader. That's true.
Yeah. What's going on with Bennett right now? I've watched some highlights. I might have seen one live half of Bennett football, coach, and what I've seen is a team still coming together, very good, but I haven't seen you play your best game yet. And
yes.
I don't know if that's
I'd say the best is yet to come. I think we had looking at Lancaster and Bennett, kind of our opening games were somewhat similar. You know, with Lancaster playing a great game with McQuaid, and then our journey down to Washington D.C. to play St. John's. So we both kind of had that opening week as a real, tall challenge, and kind of rising up to that challenge. And so St. John's, was ranked up. I believe they're up number 49
in the country.
Section play the next few weeks, but you're absolutely right. I think we're kind of getting a feel for what we're going to be doing throughout this season, and then definitely the best is yet to come. We're definitely a younger team. We're getting that line sharpened up. I just looked down the list right now. We're starting 3 juniors, 1 sophomore, and a freshman on the line. And I looked at the Lancaster roster is heavily senior laden. In fact, every player that when we watch on film, we're looking at almost every single player that was, striking us on the film in terms of our preparation, seniors. So that is one difference between the rosters right now. Lancaster looks very senior laden. We're a little bit more junior laden, junior and underclassmen laden at this time. The line, Jason Warren, our junior, he's been on that line since being a freshman. We nickname him Sanders. That's our nickname for him. He's a outstanding lineman. He's really going to be the leader behind that line, similar to Delshawn Taylor from last year, who really led our line and gave us that strength and that push on the line. Jason Warren, but the line's coming along. They're definitely doing some work, and I think the best is yet to come for sure.
How are you guys going to attack Lancaster this particular contest? You mentioned you have a younger team, younger squad, and a younger line. How do you attack Lancaster knowing that they've got that senior heavy squad this year?
Yeah, well, as usual, Bennett's, our fixture is the running game, and we I don't think we'll deviate from that. I think we're always looking to establish the run. We're looking at being a power running type of team, but we're very pleased with the progress and the achievements of Jordan Freeman, who's stepped up for us this year and just got a Connolly Cup nomination this past weekend. He's thrown for over 200 yards the last 2 games. He had 257 this week with Jamestown and 274 the week before with Niagara Falls. So we feel confident with the aerial attack as well. So I think we'll be prepared for a balanced attack. I think that's what we're we're looking for. But most people will see our hallmark as our running game, and but I believe we'll be a balanced attack coming forward for this game with Lancaster.
Hey, Coach, this is Mario All here. I do have
Hi,
a
Mario.
question. Whenever everybody think about being in high school, you guys could put up points. As far as the defensive side, you guys lost a few playmakers. I know E. Ryan Lawrence still play on defense, able to make some plays. Outside of him on the defensive side, who you feel like would be a difference maker?
Yeah, we Jason Hargrove, our defensive end, we're high on him. He was only eighth grader last year. He's coming up as a ninth grader right now, playing on the defensive line, and really has made a name for himself there at the defensive end position. We expect him to be uh, somebody to be looking out for on that defensive line. And Jason Warren plays both ways. He's our tackle. Uh, so he'll be in there on the interior of the defensive line. And so, those are two players right away that we look at. Shamir Land is our inside linebacker as a senior. That gives us some senior leadership on the defense, and had 15 tackles this past game and an interception, and gets some good pressure on the quarterback when he's coming. So yeah, those are three that stand out right away. E. Ryan Lawrence is we're working him at corner, and he's pretty tough against the pass. He's had an interception, some beautiful interceptions the last few games. But those are some of the names that stick out right away. Noah McDuffie, extremely experienced at the free safety spot. Even as an eighth grader, made huge plays for us in some playoff games, and so he comes in with all that experience. So kind of that veteran, name as a both a run stopper and also the secondary.
Hey, Coach, talk about Jack Eskridge and how he has come into that locker room, into the program, and maybe shaking things up a little bit, because we are starting to hear his name quite a bit, making some plays for you guys. And just talk about how he has been accepted into that program.
Absolutely, just a great talent. He kind of brings in. We've had obviously Jameer Thomas, who was he's now a true freshman at Syracuse, and right on the sideline right there, looking for his opportunity to play. But he was our Buffalo News Player of the Year and Comedy Cup player, and what he was known for is just all-purpose yardage. Jameer pretty much did everything, and Jack, I believe, is that kind of player. He's coming in. His receptions, he's well over, most of these games this year so far is over 100 yards receiving. Had 174 this past game, and also got the Conley Cup nomination with Jordan Freeman. So he's fit in real nicely. But he does special teams for us. He's returning kicks and punts, and so he's bringing in a real nice allotment of all-purpose yards for Bennett. And nice attitude, real good work, working well with the team. So yeah, I think it's been a really nice fitting in with the team, as you mentioned.
Hey, Coach, we got a chance to talk to Coach Rupp 2 weeks ago before the Orchard Park game. In that game, one of the questions we asked him was talking about the overall makeup of his team. And what he says is different about his team was that there are very few members of his team that play both ways. They really treat it like a college program because they've got the numbers to be able to make sure that guys aren't doing this. So when you look at guys that are not tired, are not winded, right? You see that on this Lancaster team. How do you combat that, knowing that you're going to go against that type of a mentality, that type of a team coming up?
I think it goes to just the training and the work ethic that we put into it. And we do have a fair number that go both ways, but we have some that also specialize as well. But yeah, that's great to have that with those numbers. We pride ourselves in just a tremendous off-season program. Going right to work, there as soon as the winter season is sort of coming to a conclusion, we're already in that weight room and doing the cardio and the lifting, and then that goes throughout the whole season. We're lifting and training all the way through the whole season. And so that even, coming in after a game and doing weightlifting and stretching, on a Saturday morning after a Friday night game. So that's probably what brings Coach McDuffie's program, I think, to that upper echelon, upper tier, is just the dedication to and commitment to that type of training. So that goes into that fourth quarter, which is one of the things that we stressed this week. We looking at what happened with the Jamestown game, where we had we looked at the film from about 7 minutes in the fourth down to 2 minutes. We gave up some touchdowns, and I think we're looking at what was the root cause of that, whether it was misalignments and things like that. But we want to make sure we instill that fourth quarter mentality. And I think our training exemplifies that. To stand up to, like you said, having enough depth to go both ways, or to run it like a college in the sense of defensive side and offensive side. We can measure up to Lancaster with that approach in our program in terms of our training.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate your time. We wish you guys the best of luck and health the rest of the way through. Stay healthy, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again. I would imagine Friday night has been circled on your calendar for quite a while. Tom will be there calling the game. I'm going to do my best to get there, too. I don't want to miss that one. But we do wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the way and appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me very much. And yes, we've definitely been looking forward to this one. We can't wait to get out there on Friday night.
Thank you very much. That was Coach Pat Foster from the Bennett Tigers. He's been on the staff since 2017. He also coaches basketball in Section 6, and I think he went to Hobart. I think he is a graduate of Hobart, played football there as well. So this guy knows football. And it was a pleasure having him on today. I like talking to Pat. We're going to take another break. When we come back, I believe Marcus Rivers from Lackawanna will be joining us. Do we know if he's in the queue yet?
I can get out of that meeting.
You do. All right, we got to start another meeting. We're waiting for Marcus Rivers. You're watching Western New York High School Football Weekly. We'll be on back to, we'll be back after word from our sponsor. I'll be all right.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
We've got a VIP at 3 o'clock. We're gonna go side right pick, Riptide Blazer, safety key, full boat up 3. On now, ready? They're all VIPs.
Go Team Wester.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Welcome back to Western New York High School Football Weekly. It's episode 5. Tom Prince, Mario Hall. I'm Frank Wolf. Tim Gardner producing today. Thank you for joining us. We just had Pat Foster, the head coach of the assistant head coach of the Bennett Tigers. On with us before that, it was Da'Mari Yancey from Sweet Home and Robbie Westmiller from the Oldham Bulldogs. We are going to bring in Marcus Rivers, the head coach from the Lackawanna Steelers. They are off to a 4-0 start. They're getting ready to travel down to Panama to take on CSP, who's at 3-1. Marcus Rivers, how are you, sir?
Doing good, and yourself?
Very good. It's a long time coming. We've been trying to get you in here, and now we do have you. Now, Marcus, for those that don't know you, you are from Lackawanna. You were a star there, not only on the football field but also basketball, and you did go to UB. Was it? Did you not?
Yeah, some long time ago, probably in the 90s.
Come on, Marcus.
It's been a while. Been a while.
I wasn't going to bring up the age.
Yes. The kids call me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
You just me. I just love my community. I love my school. So I try to bring that passion to the kids and let them understand you only have a limited time to play high school sports, so take advantage of it. But you just bring in all my knowledge I learned from UB and little tryouts here for the NFL and CFL.
You've got a character on your team. I mean, is character the right word for Sammy? You have got one of the. I mean,
yes.
You I butcher the poor kid's last name. I've been butchering it for years. Did he have an older brother?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, Sunday. Ikeguanao.
Ikeguanao.
Coach, you say his name for me.
Ikeguanao.
All right, you have to get it right.
I have to.
Yeah. Tell us about what is this guy like in the locker room?
He is what I would say is our clown. He's a leader, but he brings a smile to everyone. Like I said, these kids call me Unc. He's the biggest teddy bear, but like I said, he's an animal when it comes to the field. He always trying to size me up, so we kind of wrestle every now and then. So
it totally sounds like him.
We have a great relationship. Yes.
But you know what? Tell everybody though how he's come along as a football player, because he started out again a very young player on your team with his older brother, but really has put in the work to change what his game has looked like. I want you to talk about how he has evolved as a player.
I'll say his freshman and sophomore year, he was very emotional. And a lot of times I was telling him he had to channel that emotion, put everything on the football field, because there were times he'd come on the sideline, he had tears. And the biggest thing I told him is the weight room. If you take the weight room serious, there's no one in front of you who can stop you. And you can tell from this season, he has 2 and 3 blockers, and he still can dominate. But like I said, we had a collective group. We had at least 20, 25 kids in the weight room this summer. So I think that helped our team a lot this year. But Sam, like I said, he's a great player. I think he can go as far as he wants, but he has to believe in himself. And I feel like the first step was I seen it last year, lifting weights, and then this year he's calling me every day, all day about different schemes and what we should do and everything. So it's just like he always called me. He just texted me right now, but that's just Sam.
Coach, do you ever let him go to voicemail?
No, not at all. Especially in the summertime. I never know what's going on with our kids.
This past year, you want to talk about somebody who loves his program? He was also not only the boys' basketball coach,
but
he was the girls' basketball coach in the same exact season. There are not many people that would take that kind of responsibility on their shoulders, and Coach did exactly that.
Definitely. Like I said, this will be my last year doing both. I told the girls they asked me to come back one more year.
It has to eventually. We know that.
So this will be my last year with both. Like I said, I'm so consumed with sports, and I love it so much. And I'm glad I got a great partner who understands that. It's a 24/7 thing. So me working overnights helps a lot. So.
I do want to add a comment. I did some games for you guys on the sideline sometime last year and the year before. And I did make a comment because I heard you kind of meditating or something like that. And I was like, what, you meditating now? And I did jokingly just to get some tense off of you. But you responded back, you was like, I got to do what I got to do. And it was during the game.
It's time like Coach Lewis and Coach Miles, they have to look at me and tell me to calm down because like I said, I'm so in the game and I'm so animated and passionate that sometimes I have to take a step back and breathe. They think I'm gonna have. Already got gray hair. That's why I'm wearing a hat. So no one can see all the grays.
Listen, I need a haircut myself. I was like, you know what? This is what it is.
It's easier, I'll tell you.
But I'm
Coach.
keeping the salt and pepper though. It's wisdom. So that's why I'm gonna keep it.
No, but you did make a comment about talking to your player and just like channel his energy, and I feel like you do that during the game as well. So practicing what you preach, I know that wholeheartedly.
Yes, definitely.
Coach, I got two things I want to ask you, right? I want you to talk about your other linemen because yes, we know Sammy and we're going to give him all the accolades in the world, but you got some other stars that are on that line too to talk about. And then the second is you had a freshman sensation that was on that running back last year. And again, now he's the sophomore and he's running right along with another sophomore sensation inside the area. But give Clark his due and then talk about Clark a little bit also.
Like let's just start on that defensive line. I call them the four horsemen. I tell them we go as they go. When they fall off, I tell them all the time. We get to the playoffs, I'm gonna take them out of school on Friday and get them some massages. But they got to continue and be successful the way they are. Keep up the dominance. I think for them, they have this little game. See who can get in the backfield first. So they take that real serious. Far as our O-line, we're big up front. They're very physical. Like I said, it was a pleasure having the majority of our O-linemen in the weight room this summer. They do a ton of work to make Tyrone's job easy. I feel like he is the best back. He's very powerful, and like I said, one person can't bring him down. I just feel like we're very talented throughout the board. Even Amir, Stevens, and Kingston sometimes change of back guys. I think we're all just been blessed. I feel like a lot of coaches, you can have schemes and everything, but you just got to have the right personnel to fall in your lap.
Tell me about Kajon Clark. Is that Tyrone's brother?
That's his cousin. That's his
cousin. Okay.
He's a sophomore. I think he's a sophomore too. But it's
Okay.
he's our fourth back. Our second back is Kingston Alexander, and then Amir.
He's a special player.
Amir, yes,
I
he's
like
our.
Kingston.
I'll say he's our best overall player.
Kingston?
Amir Douglas.
Amir Douglas. Oh, there's another one. Yeah. Those guys were instrumental last year and maybe even the year
Definitely.
before. They got a lot of exposure as they went from, Section 6 all the way down the line. You guys got all the way to the semifinals, I believe, Union Endicott.
Yes.
But all those
Yeah, we
dudes were
lost
on the
to John.
field.
Yes,
Other
sir.
than Tyrone.
We were young. Yes. Yeah, Tyrone was an eighth grader. So, yes, everyone's on the field. We have Farrell. Farrell wasn't on that team either. So, he was a guy who was at St. Francis his first year or two. Then he transferred us last year. So,
Now
we have a lot of special pieces. It's just all about keeping them healthy and keeping their mindset. I feel like last year we got ahead of ourselves. So, that's why before warm-ups, we wear shirts that says Humble Tour because our kids got to be humble.
You had a kid come into the program not long ago, Gerard Bernard.
Yes.
How did that happen? And that's like, a shot in the veins, some vitamin B right there. That guy can play.
Yeah, he definitely can. We can't wait to see him on the field. He's going through some rehab right now, but we can't wait to see what he can bring to our table. He can elevate the passing game as well.
When do you expect him to be able to play?
Probably in the next few weeks. We don't have really have
Moore
the time.
hasn't done a bad job.
No, Moore has improved. He has improved. But like I said, it's not a bad thing having two. Having me having two at every position. So I like competition.
So you're going to head on down to Panama. You're going to play a Class D school, but this D school is Section 6 champion. The program has state titles. What enticed you to go play CSP? And is that a team that will come up and play you next year, or is this just a one-year deal?
I think this is probably a one-year deal. It wasn't me. I think the section picked this game. I think a lot of us didn't want to take that long drive, but we're going to get up early and get some breakfast. But it's like a challenge. It can help us in the playoff when it comes to passing teams since they're like pass heavy. So I think this is a good test. And like I said, I told our guys to take this serious.
That was going to be my question, Coach. What I was going to say is, here's your opportunity, right? Everyone always has an area of opportunity they can get better at. And it's been the passing game, for you guys. So,
Yes.
what are you going to do to prepare your guys for a passing attack that you're about to see?
Well, we have a great defensive coordinator, Clifton Miles Jr. So I play quarterback. I'm the scout team quarterback, so I can make sure all the passes are pinpoint. But we have some great scout team receivers. So everything that they run, like I said, is repetitive. Repetitive all week. I think we were game planning them probably week 2. So we were trying to get our pass defense to get up to par with our run stop.
So that was like the Achilles heel last year. Obviously, was
Yes.
the passing game. South Park came in
Right.
and took you down in 8-1, but it wasn't really a major shock to most people that watch high school football, especially in the area. You got the top quarterback coming in. It was a good recipe for South Park to maybe
Yes.
make a statement. Still, Lackawanna, very good. You return, and you are, in my estimation, playing one of the top passing teams in the area. There's no question. They've got some fast receivers, dependable receiver. I'll say that. Maybe even more dependable than most. These guys don't drop too many balls. And Tate gets
Short-handed.
the ball out of his hands quickly. Very precise. I don't think you can ask for a better team to go up against, especially if you're looking to improve on that passing game. Is that one of the reasons that why you're excited about this particular game, to kind of see what you might have to deal with as the season goes on?
Yeah, just to gauge us. And like I told our kids, we come from a championship line as well, but just to play another team, you don't have to be the most athletic or the greatest, but it's just about executing, knowing your assignment and your alignment and doing the right things. Like I tell our kids, they do a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, but at the end of the day, you just got to know your keys and play football, though. So,
I mean,
like
I
I said, we're
saw.
going to depend on heavily on our 4 horsemen. And like I said, our DBs just got to lock in.
I mean, I saw CSP over the summer at Cortland, and they were up against Pioneer in that championship, and they were very good. And Pioneer has an excellent passing attack as well. But CSP beat them ultimately, and it's just 7-7. There's no pads, no linemen. But that really opened up my eyes that, wow, they can really. I mean, we knew they could play with Class C teams. Now they're matched up against Pioneer and did exceptionally well, and now they get a shot to go up against Lackawanna, who is, you can say, is right up there with the rest of the Class B teams. They're still undefeated, so they're going to have their hands full. This is a great test for them as well.
I agree. This is going to test that one area that you're trying to improve on.
Which is for CSP probably the line play.
And I think it's flipped. That's what CSP wants to get prepared for their run. They're trying to get that line more experienced, that has been very young, took on a very good team in Waverly in week 1, which was a bigger line. And you can see Catneys did everything he can to help that line. Now the line has some experience. Now you're going to really take on a line that's going to be something.
Well, that's what I'd ask you. You saw Waverly. Do they have a Sammy in Waverly?
Nobody's got a Sammy right now.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
He said it himself when he goes, this kid's taking on double and triple teams and blowing through them right now. Yeah. What does that tell you? Because you're going to have to, at a minimum, double this guy.
We've only seen so many defensive linemen be able to do that, and one of them was Rashad Perry playing at Syracuse.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare those two guys right now. It's a little early to do that, but that's the last guy we saw handle that kind of pressure.
And, Coach, if I'm correct, in the preseason, you went with Bennett to try to learn a little bit about you guys, and your line went head-to-head with Bennett in the preseason to prepare for the season.
Yeah, definitely. We got a head nod from McDuffie and the rest of his coaching staff. They were very impressed. Like they said, when we first walked in, they didn't think much of us until we lined up against them and we did run stops and 7-on-7, and they gave us approval of, like, we have something special here. So I think our kids believe that. Like I said, I think we went toe-to-toe with Bennett, and like I said, our kids has never wavered from that. So it's just like a constant battle every week.
Hey, Coach, we're on YouTube, and there's a fan out there who has a question for you. He wants to know, or she, they're asking, how much does last year come into play in terms of motivation for this year?
I'll say 100% of the time. I think once we lost against South Park, every kid was trying to message me, Coach, let's open the weight room. let's do this. And I was just like, you need to get a break. Take a break, digest what happened, and we can get things moving in the spring or after basketball season. And like I said, it's just a constant reminder of like, don't take any team for granted. I think that's why these kids are super aggressive when it comes to offense and defense. Every week they have a point spread that they said we should win by, and if they don't get it, we usually run from it. So I feel like they put it on themselves, like just letting teams not score on us or having a certain amount of yardage. They take that serious. So our kids, like I said, it was a hard pill to swallow. I mean, it was like I said, I didn't talk to the kids for like a good week because, like I said, the passion I have, I had to step away from them. But I feel like from coaching staff to the players to even admin, everyone understood the what our goal is this year. So a bunch of 7-on-7 camps and the camps that we went to, I helped improve our team this year.
Very good, Coach. We're going to wish you the best of luck. Stay healthy. Enjoy the ride down to Panama. I know you're going to see a good team down there, and they're going to see a good team as well. And I think it's the perfect storm for both teams to test themselves to get ready to make a nice playoff run.
Yep.
But we wish you the best of luck. Appreciate you coming on today. I
appreciate
know we're
it.
doing that game. Jeremy Becker and his Jamestown guys will be calling that game. That's on WNY Athletics Plus. If you don't have a subscription, please get one so you can watch that game on our website. And Coach, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Just thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Mark is a good dude. Good coach. Perfect coach for that team, if you ask me. And I want to thank him for coming on. Let's take another break. We'll come back with our final segment. You're watching Western New York High School Football Weekly.
We've got a VIP at 3 o'clock. We're going to go side right pick, Riptide Blazer, safety key, full boat up 3. On now. Ready? They're all VIPs.
Go Team Western.
And remember, you can call me anytime.
Anytime?
Oh, this is my client.
Hello! Injury attorney William Mattar always puts his clients first.
I gotta take this.
There you go.
Sorry, I gotta take this.
He's recovered millions for injured accident victims.
Easy out, easy out. Ooh, it's mine. This is William.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Welcome back to Western New York High School Football Weekly. This is our final segment. We're going to go through the standings like we promised. But first, why don't we tell you about those Connolly Cup and Trench Trophy weekly top performers from the Connolly Cup. You got Danny Ahern from Lancaster. Harlan Brandon, he had like 5 touchdowns for Kenmore West. He had a hell of a game. Grady Brown, Jack Exkridge from Bennett. Kaylon Ford, he was very good for McKinley last week. Jordan Freeman, all these guys were good. Braden Fuller, Carter Jabu, Braden Gibbs, Bryce Hinsdale, Elijah Kimball, Joey Lipsky from Will South, Brandon McKell Jr. from Health Sciences, Isaac Platt, and then Landon Welka had one hell of a game for St. Francis against Cathedral Prep. Your Trench Trophy guys for this past week are Patrick Enright from Canisius, Michael Harris, the Red Raiders, Ryan Lavery from Pioneer, Mason Maring, Sea Lake, Brock, West Valley, Colton Rhodes, Anthony Vaccaro, Trevor Wallace, And then Robbie Westmiller from the Alden Bulldogs, though your Week 4 nominees from the Trench Trophy guys. And now we want to kind of run through those standings. We're going to start with Double A at the top there. Lancaster and Bennett, 3-0 in the league, followed closely by Orchard Park Jamestown, who's at 1-1. And then you got some offers there with Lockport, Niagara Falls, and Hutch Tech. Top 6 teams will make the playoffs, Tom, or is it how do they do that?
They've always done well. Last year they did a bye, so number one got a bye, and it was 2-7, 3-6, 4-5, and then the winner of the winner of the
2-7 game.
No, it wasn't the 2. It was the winner of the 4-5 matchup would play then Lancaster
or Bennett, whoever. So
yes,
this week is huge.
I'm saying is just the way it set it out right there.
This week is huge. And look at the points differential there. I mean, yeah, Lancaster's got 9 more points than Bennett, but look at how many points that Bennett's given up. Only 31. That's got to be just.
That's in conference. That's
yeah,
just conference points,
because they gave up 40 plus to the team from DC. So that's your Double A standings right now. A1 McKinley 3-0, followed by Clarence at 2-0, and then some 1-1s, 1-2s there with Wheatfield, West Seneca West. West Seneca West, that was a killer loss for them last week, but they showed some guts against Clarence. And again, at this point, I want to say our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Bergio, who lost his dad last week, had to coach with a heavy heart last Friday night, and he's playing Thursday against Health Sciences, and on Friday is a funeral for his dad. So our thoughts are with Coach Bergio and his family. Tough loss for them, but they're still moving on. A2, Sweet Home's on top, along with Star Point, both at 2-0. Star Point did lose their first game last week to Will North. Kenmore West had a bounce-back win. Pretty big win over Hamburg.
Agreed.
So they moved to 2-1, and then there's Hamburg at 1-2. And East playing Sweet Home. They like to be a little bit of spoilers there. Can you imagine if they win that game? That's going to really put a major log jam there. It's a log jam there right now with 5 teams separated by just one loss there. And then even North Tonawanda at 0-3. You hate to say it, but they're really not out of it at this point, to be quite honest.
No, I mean,
they
but
can
we
turn
already
things around.
remember we've hit now, halfway point of the season right here. So you've got to turn things around
right
and
away.
turn around quickly.
They can't lose another game in the conference. Moving along here, B1, Health Sciences and Grand Island, 2-0s there. And then there's Will South. They're at 2-1. West Seneca East at 1-1 there. And then there's Kenmore East, still looking for their win in league play, and Amherst.
I'm going to tell you, Amherst is going to be the spoiler inside this division.
You think so?
Listen, they gave, as we all know, Will South everything they could handle last week and more in a 30-29 loss. And look at in the loss, we saw Brady be able to get his Conley Cup nomination.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to be the team that could cause you not making the playoffs if you haven't seen that
I
yet.
think Kenmore East had a major injury there to their quarterback. I'm not 100% on that, but there was an injury there. So I'm not sure what the Bulldogs have in store. I know they got a very good line, and they're missing a few people at the skill spot right now. They're having a tough go right now. They could be a spoiler too. B2, there's Pioneer at 3-0. They get Iroquois this week. That's a game on Friday night that WBFO will be. That's on, what do they call that, Tim? WBFO?
WNED Creative.
WNED Creative. I believe it's like channel 1235 or 1275 on Spectrum. We'll put a post out. It'll have where to find those games.
This win could put Pioneer right now in that division.
Solidified.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they go to 4-0, Tom, that you got to say they're the top. They're in the front runner for the top seed.
Well, again,
For
you
the
don't
front
know.
runner, just the front runner.
Yeah, they're one of them. You still got to wait to see what happens at B1 and B3 over there. But they should be at least one of the top 3 seeds because they should win this division if they go ahead and beat Iroquois.
What do you think, Mario?
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, this
Lackawanna.
great team.
Lackawanna is the same position at 4-0. I mean, they're going to play not a conference. Look at the points they're putting up, points against. Now, their schedule has been somewhat easy. I mean, the Depew game, they put points on them, but.
You mean Lackawanna?
Lackawanna and Depew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they still won by like 30 points.
Yeah.
So Lackawanna has had maybe an easier schedule but they're about to hit a
Oh,
gauntlet.
they're about to hit. Listen, the games that I wanted to watch was, first of all, that Maryville-Springville game. Was Springville about to get over the hump? And we know that they had a tough loss versus Maryville right there. But now it's the same thing. You got Depew and Springville this week. To me, that's another big matchup to watch out here for, because does Springville get over the hump? Because you had to win, like in Olean or Depew, you had to win 2 out of 3 of these games to give yourself a shot at a playoff run right here. And to me, this Depew-Springville game for both right now, you've got to circle, because Depew with a loss to Lackawanna, Springville with a loss to Maryville. This Depew-Springville game could be who gets the number 3 seed right here.
So all eyes will be on that game this week. Moving on to C North, Alden and Newfane, both at 3-0 right now. Medina 3-1, Akron 3-1. Cleve Hill, a quiet 2-1. Can they be a spoiler? Somewhere we'll have to wait and see. And then Roy Hart Barker and Tonawanda Maritime. And JFK does not have a team, so I don't know why they're still in there on
They're
that
going to come
Section
back
6
next
site.
year, because that's what we're hoping for.
We hope,
right
but they don't even have a
Yeah.
team this year, so why they're in there, I don't know.
But the top 4 seeds go head-to-head in some sort of a matchup this week,
Coming up.
right? So Alden gets to take on Newfane, Medina at Akron. I'll get a chance to go out to Medina, and we'll get a chance to see that Medina-Akron game that we'll also be broadcasting on the NFHS network.
Medina still has that very impressive running game. Akron, very good as well. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball, and they can play some defense. So that's going to be a great game. You're gonna get a treat.
I'm excited.
Thursday.
That's why I asked to go out there. You know that.
C South, Salamanca still undefeated at 4-0. Chautauqua, Lake, Westfield, Brockton with a big win last week over Falconer, Casadega Valley, Maple Grove. I know Falconer's without Mathis Bear last week for the most part. And then Roger Markham also on the sidelines. So they need to get healthy again. They can't afford to really lose another one here. They're going to fall too far out because Southwestern's playing some great football as well at 2-1 in the conference.
Southwestern Portville this week.
And that's
the one I circled right there.
That's a
because
big
you're
one.
battling for that top 4 spots. Remember, it's top 4 that get in.
And Eden, which started off playing really good, right now they're 1-2 in the league, so they've got to put a league win here real quick. They got to get back in the win column in the
But
league.
remember,
side of
losses
things.
to Southwestern and Portville themselves
It's gonna
right
hurt.
there. That's where it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But can Portville be able to try to jump into that 4 spot right now if they could get a win over Southwestern?
Well, I think, isn't Eden North Carolina's playing Chautauqua Lake this week? I think this is that week when those teams go at it. So no better time like the present. But that Sea Lake Westfield team, they got that kid Mason Maring there. He's a hell of a football player. You'd love to have him on your team.
Yeah,
He's
so
also going to be a
Eden
doctor.
North Carolina does get Chautauqua Lake
Yeah,
West.
so that's a big one. They got some big receivers out there at Sea Lake, and they got the Gibbs at quarterback, so that's a pretty good team. Moving on to D, there's CSP at the top at 3-0. They had a big win over Franklinville. Go on to Pine Valley at 2-1, and their losses to CSP. Randolph, they had a big win last week at 1-1. They're still in this thing, and
Well, Franklinville, Ellicottville, and Randolph play this week. So that's
Yes.
the big matchup this week right here. And then next week, Franklinville, Ellicottville plays Gowanda. So we'll get a chance to see, does Franklinville, Ellicottville jump back up into that 2nd spot where it's been predominantly the last couple of years, where they've been sitting in either the number 1 or the number 2 spot.
And those are your standings. 8-man, of course, Frewsburg. We don't want to leave those guys out. Frewsburg and Allegheny. They're the only teams we have. They're playing that Section 5 schedule. So,
And their one win is over Allegheny Limestone.
yeah. Well, that is pretty much what we have in store for. Unless you want to talk about another game that you saw this past week, or what game are you looking forward to besides Lancaster Bennett and then that Medina Akron game?
The game I'm looking most forward to outside of all those games, first of all, has to be St. Francis Canisius. So we haven't even given its love there, right? That no doubt is going to be a big game to me. I want to see that McKinley Ken West game. I think that's another big game. Newfane Alden's going to be a big one. And then I also think that Depew Springville becomes a really good game that you've got to be able to see where that 3rd team stands inside this division. And then lastly, you can't forget Orchard Park Jamestown. To me, that's another big one, because now you're talking about who gets that 3 seed, because the number 4 will take on whoever the number 1 seed who comes out of this, and you probably want to be in that 3rd seed versus paying the number 1 team.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to that Lackawanna CSP game.
Yeah.
I want to see if CSP can handle Clark and Sammy, and I want to see if Lackawanna can handle that passing attack. So that's the battle within the battle there that I think both coaches are going to be looking for. Section 6 may have made that schedule.
I love it.
But they knew what they were doing.
I
because
love it. I love
think
it,
about it,
dude.
Tom. Lackawanna has a good chance of coming out of there.
Oh, absolutely.
Section 6. They could be your.
They absolutely could be.
They
But
could
boy,
be
this
the
bee is loaded.
They are. But they're going to have to stop a team that can pass the ball. CSP is going to have to stop a team that can run the ball because we all know this. They should get to see Tioga again, and we know they can run the ball. This is the best test they're going to get before the season. They're going to know what they know from last year. Yeah. They're stronger, bigger, stronger, more precise offensively, and we'll have to see how that ultimately plays out.
I know we talk a lot about Sammy. I do want to mention one other name. LaFerald Hines is the real deal, by the way, okay? This is another guy on that line that's the real deal that could easily cause a lot of havoc. And if you're going to try to triple team Sammy, I'm going to tell you, watch out because Hines is going to also have a big day.
And then I just want to see what Salamanca has in store this week.
Salamanca, when I looked, I don't think it's one of the upper.
Was it like Silver Creek or something like that this week?
Salamanca this week.
Silver Creek.
Yeah, I knew it just wasn't one of the upper.
But then it's Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove. So that's a game that we might want to get to. I'm not sure if that's at Falconer or where that game is being played exactly.
The only other two, well, we did talk about Franklinville, if we'll play Randolph this week as another big one. The only two other games that I really circled as games to watch out for, Start Point Hamburg, I think is going to be another big one. And then the other one is Maryville Olean, because always tough to play Olean. They are also right in the thick of things. They're one of those 4 teams that are standing out inside that B3. That could be another game to just circle to see what happens.
And the other one, Falconer there was missing a couple of studs. They're going to go play Fredonia. Fredonia at 1-3. They got to start putting some wins together. We know last year they struggled out of the gate, and then they had to really put some wins together, and they just missed the playoffs. They got to win this game, or they will not be in the playoffs for a second straight year. And that's a team that's been getting to Highmark for years in a row. Mario, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Honestly, I wish could be at every game. Kinesis and Joe's. I mean, not Kinesis, Joe's and Francis. Then you have the Lackawanna CSP game. Looking forward to that. Bennett and Lancaster is so many.
Pick your poison. These are the games. If you're if you have a subscription to NFHS Network, Thursday night Health Sciences at Clarence. Is that the game Luke's on? Yeah, is it your son making his color debut? Evan Harrington and Luke Prince will be on that one. Akron at Medina. That's you and Jamal. Jamal will be calling that game. You haven't worked with him yet. He's a fun guy. Those are on NFHS Thursday night. On Friday, it's Bennett at Lancaster. And that's Mike Bunt and yourself. Tom Prince, Orchard Park at Jamestown. Who's on that call? Oh, that's Norm. Norm Rodriguez and Ken Ricker. Friday night, we also have Grand Island at Amherst. I think that Luke's on that game. Yeah, Luke's on that game with Evan
Luke's
Harrington.
with me on Thursday.
Luke's with you on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, he's learning how to produce.
Yeah.
Who's calling that game for you?
Tomorrow.
Health Sciences? Okay.
No. I'm on the Akron Medina.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming to us to Akron and Medina.
Okay.
And that isn't Jake Fyack on the Health Sciences?
Maybe it's
Clarence
Jake.
game?
Maybe it is Jake. And then Saturday, Lackawanna at CSP. And then Saturday, that's on WNY Athletics. And so is the Will East at Sweet Home. A 1:30 game from Panama and a 2 p.m. game at Sweet Home. That's their homecoming. So you need a subscription for NFHS and WNY Athletics to see those great games. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great weekend of high school football. We'll be back here again next Wednesday doing the show yet again. And we'll have all the highlights of those games on those shows and some new guests.
Some big interviews.
We'll take a look at the schedule and who we can bring in here.
I kind of want to see how Health Sciences adapts to the Clarence passing attack. I feel like that would be an understatement game.
You know what? It's a perfect game for them because, I know they won't see Monroe because they moved up to A, but that's the team that gave them the most trouble, that passing attack. Yeah. So they do.
End line, because Clarence has that big line.
Absolutely.
This will be a chance to challenge that line. Same thing that CSP is doing, Health Sciences is going to do against Clarence.
But Clarence, too, like I said earlier, Bennett looked like they were kind of sleepwalking through the beginning of the season. Kind of the same for Clarence. We were expecting them to come in and be winning games by 3-4 touchdowns with the way things had been shaping up for them over the summer. That offense is clicking, and they have that line and some studs on defense. They've kind of maybe walked through the season a little bit here. They need to start putting some points up, and what a game. I mean, Health Sciences, good luck.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Fun week. Can't wait.
All right, so for Tom Prince, Mario Hall, and Tim Gardner, I'm Frank Wolf. We appreciate you watching the show. Thank you. Shout out to Patrick for watching at home, and Farkas as well, and all you that helped us out in the chats today. We appreciate you all. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week here on Western New York High School Football Weekly.